on, everybody? This is the Black Panther movie review. In case you didn't read the title, I just wanted to start off by just talking about how great I feel like this movie was. It had me captivated from start to finish in regards to how this movie was just put together. The director, I think his name is Ryan Coogler, did a tremendous job with storytelling, putting the storyline together, giving background, building up characters, giving them their place in the plot, and all of that. There was not one point where I felt like, why is this character here, or anything like that. But just great job to the direction, the characters fulfilling their roles the way they did. It was just hands down a great movie to me. Now, if you're trying to be super critical of every single moment, of every single scene, then you're of course going to see the bad. But let's just enjoy the movie for what it was. It was a superhero movie. It was already 2 hours long, and they did have to, start from scratch with this, because again, this is the first time Black Panther had a full feature film. He had a little small scene in the Civil War movie, but that was pretty much it. So we can't really expect too much from that. We've had our fair share of other black superheroes, but they've been spread out over the course of, the last 20 years? Because Blade, I believe, was the first one. But in any sense, again, kudos to the cast and crew, because the movie was done very well. Now, I actually went on February 15th to go see the movie, and that theater was super packed. It was stupid packed. Like, so packed that I actually had to park at the furthest possible spot in the parking lot just to actually get a parking spot. And the movie wasn't even started yet. It was like 30 minutes before the movie even started. It's crazy. In any sense, so the movie itself starts out talking about how the meteor fell from space and all that kind of stuff and landed in Wakanda, what is now Wakanda, and supplied Wakanda with all of their materials, their technology, and all that kind of stuff, to just put them so far in the advance of the rest of the world. So they built off of that. They formed 5 different tribes within Wakanda, and that's pretty much where they get that. They lay that foundation really early, wrap it up really nice. Good job. In any sense, then they move on to kind of giving like a little backstory of a small event that doesn't seem very significant, but it becomes significant later, and I'll touch on that. But then they go ahead and pick up right at where in Civil War, where T'Chaka, who is T'Challa's father, had actually had that big accident and he died. T'Challa was actually there. They then take both back to Wakanda, where they do all the ceremony. They set up the whole ceremonial situation. They get him ready. Because his father was so much older, T'Challa had already taken over the Black Panther responsibility because his dad was too old. But he was still king. So then when he passed, T'Challa took over the king responsibilities as well. I don't know why my ears are itching so much. But in any sense, so then by their own particular ritual / ceremonial situation, before any person can become king, they have to go through the other 4 tribes and see if there's somebody who actually wants to challenge them. So once that challenge is taking place, the 3 of them was like, you know what, we trust you with being king. We're not going to interfere. We're going to let you go ahead and do what you got to do. Then there was the one, you got to always be that one tribe that was like, you know what, we moved up to the mountains a long time ago. We've been a little isolated ourselves, but it was because we didn't approve of what was going on. So now we actually want to do something about it. We want one of ours to become the king. So, they went ahead and agreed to it because that's just their culture. And then T'Challa, they went ahead and took the Black Panther power away from him so that the fight would be fair, of course. Because that, But then, besides, if he had the Black Panther power and he was trying to fight somebody regular, he'd be like, really? Really? So, they took the Black Panther power away from him. And then they went ahead and fought. It was a well-even match. And then another thing, if you go and you're going to try and challenge somebody, I'm glad they made it an even match so that it wasn't like, okay, you did all this talk, you talked a big game, you was like, I'm gonna take you down so we can become the leading tribe and all that kind of stuff, and then you go down real easy. That would have been a shake your head moment. So I'm glad they actually took the time that was like, you know what, even this is too early in the movie for him to lose, but it was too early in the movie. But it would have been silly if he would have lost. So, T'Challa went ahead and won. He remained the Black Panther. They went ahead and gave him the herb from their garden that actually granted each king the Black Panther power. And then, of course, he also, with that, remained king. Then they went through all the politics. They did their formal council meeting and all that kind of stuff. And one of the tribe leaders was like, hey, our public enemy #1 is still running amok into other worlds, into other countries and stuff. So I need you to pick up and do something about that. None of the other kings have been able to do anything about that. They've been dragging their feet. So we need somebody. And that somebody needs to be you. To go ahead and rid us of this guy, this poison. He's already snuck into our country once, and he's already stole some of our vibranium, some of our precious metal. So we need to get rid of this guy. So, when the time comes to actually have that happen, T'Challa kind of fails. It's actually a really good action scene. Cars flipping, Black Panther jumping around, showing off his abilities and all that kind of stuff. Some really, really cool side effects and graphics and Marvel. So, we expect. But in any sense, then they went ahead and went back to Wakanda and was like, hey, we almost had him, but he slipped through our fingers once again. So yeah, that kind of upset the people, especially that one guy who actually had confronted him about it earlier in the movie. And then that's when the real antagonist of the movie comes into play, Eric Killmonger. So, they threw the backstory for him out there. It was like, he, and that's what was actually alluding to earlier, closer to the beginning of the movie, where that flashback to around 1992 was saying where the then king, the Chaco, actually came to America because his brother was here running some kind of mission, which he was also kind of betraying Wakanda somewhat at the time because he was selling off the vibranium. So in that particular case, they ended up killing him, which he deeply regretted. But nobody wants to kill their own family. But if you're doing something that you're not supposed to, and then as he turns his back, you actually try to take him out. That's really nothing else he could have done. So in any sense, prior to that particular instance happening, the king's brother had already had started a family with a woman here in America, and so therefore that half Wakanda and half American, that one Wakanda American child was Eric Killmonger. So also during the backstory, as he was growing up, his dad kind of told him about where he was from, where his dad was from, and how beautiful the land was, all the technology and all that kind of stuff. So this gave Killmonger some backup, some education on what he was missing out on. And his dad actually even said he was going to take him there one day, but a little too late. In any sense, that particular happened. Eric Killmonger knew about their public enemy number one, and in light of that, knew that if he brought their public enemy number one to them, dead or alive, that would make him look good. So that's exactly what he did. But he was a little outraged about it, so he actually kills their public enemy number one, which was a really good role. That guy was hilarious. Can't remember his name or his real name or his character's name. That's slipping me for right now. I want to say Claw was his was his character's name, but I don't remember the person who actually played him. In any sense, Killmonger was actually working with him at first, and then he betrayed him and killed him, and then gave him like the okie doke. But then he went ahead and took him back to Wakanda, which is one of those kind of loophole things. It's like, how do you even know how to get back to Wakanda to take him to Wakanda? But again, so they go back to Wakanda. Killmonger brings him back to Wakanda and shows him, hey, this is what you were supposed to be doing. This is what your kings were supposed to be doing. They were unable to do it. I did it. So I am here for the throne. You're going to make me the new king. So, another one of those times when they kind of throw out tradition or whatnot, and he was like, I need y'all to go ahead and make this happen now. I ain't trying to wait. They was like, we need to get certain things together. But, in interest of the time as well, because again, what they did do was a 2-hour movie, so they kind of had to rush a little bit. But, so they went ahead and was like, you did actually do something that we've been wanting to do for a long time. So we're going to go ahead and give you a shot. So then, some people actually realize, hey, this guy's a jerk. Do we really want to even give him the shot at owning the throne with him being the type of person he is? But there were also people on the other side that was like, well, he may be a jerk, but he did something that we've been wanting somebody to do. So we let's see what he got. So again, they took the Black Panther power from the T'Challa, and then they went at it. Killmonger actually throws T'Challa off the side of the cliff, which normally would kill somebody, but in this particular case it didn't quite. As of course, Chadwick Boseman's character being the main character, so of course he didn't really die. But he throws him off the cliff, kind of makes you think that. And then since he had obviously won at that particular time, there was kind of no disputing the fact that he had actually killed him. Killmonger became the king. They gave him the Black Panther power, and therefore he started his rule. He started off on a crazy note because the first thing he actually had to do was destroy the garden where they actually grew the Black Panther power. And I'm like, really? So, I'm sure they have a contingency because, of course, once everything is said and done with the movie, of course, they gotta prepare for something else. So I'm sure that in the comic book world, they'll eventually figure out a way to get this squared away. But in any sense, that's when the particular situation comes, and the people who were cool with him taking over, they was like, helping him out, aiding him any way he needed it and whatnot. And then there was that super beast mode female warrior who was like, I don't like it, but I'm a servant of Wakanda, so I have to do what I gotta do. I do what's best for Wakanda. I don't even do what's best for myself. I do what's best for Wakanda, and what's best for Wakanda is to keep the structure that we've had for so on and so forth. But in any sense, the people who were completely against it, of course, T'Challa's family, and people who was like, screw this, we gotta put tradition aside for this one time, because even though he went the right way about doing it, he's a little crazy, and he ain't really doing things in a really just way. And so that's when probably not the first and only, but the Wakanda Civil War pretty much started. And then that's when, they went through the process of actually finding T'Challa, because his mother, his sister, and his girlfriend had actually stolen one of the plants, one of the little bulb things grown in the Black Panther garden that actually gives someone the Black Panther power, and then they snuck it off to the mountains and tried to get them to help. When they actually went to help, they kind of joked around a little bit, but then it was like, well, we'd be honored to do that, but let me show you something. Come on. So then they actually took him to where T'Challa was actually in preservation, hanging on to life and that kind of thing. They gave him the Black Power Panther back. He healed up all nice and whatever, and then that's when he goes back for his throne and whatnot. He was like, well, I'm apparently not dead, so let's finish the challenge, because since I'm not dead, we need to go ahead and finish the challenge that you yourself actually started. Now, with that particular being said, again, like I said, the Civil War started. So, Team T'Challa versus Team Killmonger. Needless to say, Team T'Challa won, because he, again, main character. So then, everything goes on. They got raging rhinos and all kinds of craziness going on. Killmonger had already sent off planes to send off the technology to other countries and whatnot, and then T'Challa had them shoot him down to keep that from happening, by which killed innocent people. But in any sense, beside the point. They didn't actually show anybody in the piloting, but the person who actually created the technology for them to do that really cool thing where they didn't have to be in the actual vehicle themselves was opposed to their sending off stuff. So she might not have been. I don't know. That was one of those things I didn't actually think about until just now. But for my anime people, especially my Dragon Ball fans, did Killmonger not actually still go into Vegeta's closet? So yeah, the war went on. Everybody went their separate ways. T'Challa and Killmonger ended up fighting all kinds of stuff. Kind of had like a Peter Griffin chicken moment where they was fighting on the surface at one point, and then they ended up falling down into a giant hole where they was fighting in the dark and all kinds of stuff. It was kind of crazy. It was all over the place, but it was still easy to follow and all that kind of stuff. And in a sense, major spoiler, Killmonger kills himself because, T'Challa wanted to, try and do things right and give him another chance to live. And that really was the only thing that I think would have made this movie better, is if, speaking of Vegeta from the Dragon Ball series, I wish Killmonger would have actually, took that same role and was like, hey, well, it wasn't really your fault that I ended up in the situation that I was in, so Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and try. I'm gonna give you a shot. I'm gonna give you a shot, cuz. So then, puts an end to the Civil War. Everything gets back to normal. Pretty much then. But you know how Marvel does, they do the ending credit type deal where they put little snippets of stuff to kind of feed into their next movie that they are trying to lead off into, which is one cool thing is about why you always need to watch the ending credits in any Marvel movie. But, so, with that also being said, in the ending credits, they showed T'Challa realizing that what he was feeling all along throughout the movie and what Killmonger was actually doing was kind of synchronized. Killmonger wanted to take their technology and heal the rest of the world, especially like the black communities, because this movie was really about African pride, African people, and of course we have embraced that. That me myself as well. Can't help it. But, I mean, just like anybody else would. I mean, if we really think about it, instead of thinking about it from, oh, well, all the black people just automatically going crazy and whatnot, like they ain't had anything like this or anything. Or some person actually even had this nerve to try and say that, oh, well, so you're not happy about having a black president and all this other kind of stuff. I won't get into politics or anything like that, but I just thought that was silly for them to say, oh, well, so it took a black superhero, a fictional character in a fictional country, for you to get all excited when not only have you had a couple other black superheroes and a black president and all this other kind of stuff. Real silly. I mean, like, you're going overboard. Just let us appreciate it for what it is. I mean, the worst we can do is somebody start talking in the African accent all the time, and that was probably terrible. Sorry, but in any sense, the thing is that it was a great movie, start to finish. It did have its flaws. It's made by a person. Nobody's perfect. So therefore, anyway, that's pretty much how the movie wrapped up, with everything getting back to normal. And like I said, T'Challa actually realizing that the way they were doing things was wrong, to stay closed off from the rest of the world. And that Killmonger's idea wasn't really off base too much, but not necessarily to an extent. Because of course, again, he wanted to empower other races to go ahead and be, well, specifically black people, but he wanted to raise up so that we could be more powerful in what we did around the world or whatnot. And he actually wanted to rule with an iron fist, which was, like I said, when everything was turning wrong. But T'Challa was like, okay, you had a point, let's go ahead and hope. We have all kinds of resources. We become a very advanced society. Let's go ahead and reach out to the rest of the world, spread our knowledge and our wisdom and all this awesome technology that we have, and let's make the world a better place. So that's what they show at the end of the movie in the credit situation, and they show T'Challa actually go to the UN and all that kind of stuff. So pretty good. Like I said, great movie. Loved it, start to finish. And let me know what you think in the comments below. But if you liked anything I had to say, please feel free to hit the like button and subscribe. And even if you don't like, hit subscribe anyway, because there will be more content coming in the future, and I will definitely appreciate all your support. So again, this is the review, Black Panther, and I holla at you. Peace.